the NFL offseason review, which teams have improved. Let's take a look at each team and grade their draft. And then we're also going to look at their free agent moves and their trades, and then give our estimate for how many games we feel like they may have improved. And this isn't just based on these moves. This maybe you have a key quarterbacks like Joe Burrow coming back. We're going to look at how many games we think the team will improve by. We're going to start off, we're going to do this in draft order. We're going to start off with a certain team from the Windy City.
The Bears.
The Bears.
We like the Bears draft. We like their free agent pickups. We give them an A for the draft. We think the best pick might, in fact, be wide receiver Rome Odunze to go along with number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. We think Williams is set up to succeed. We think the Bears are going to improve by 3 games this year. Remember, they're still in the tough NFC North with the Packers and the Lions. And generally, for this video, we're not going to go any higher than 3. You can make the case that a team might improve more than that. That's a stretch. So we like the fact they picked up DeAndre Swift and Keenan Allen. We like the Bears' prospects for the season. We felt last season the Commanders were a quarterback away from being contenders, and they addressed that issue, taking quarterback Jaden Daniels with a number 2 overall pick. We love that. We give the Commanders an overall A for this draft. We think they'll improve by a factor of 3 games. We really like the coaching change, putting Dan Quinn there as your head coach to go along with offensive specialist Cliff Kingsbury, the guy that mentored Patrick Mahomes in college. We like the free agent pickup of Eckler. We think that this is going to give the Commanders significant speed. You've got Jaden Daniels and then Eckler. We like the fact that they're going to be contenders for the NFC East this season. And before we continue, if you would, just join our channel. And if you like this video or find it useful, like it and then subscribe. We provide weekly NFL picks, highlights, and sports travel. Thank you. The Patriots selected their quarterback of the future, taking Drake May 3rd overall. We give the Patriots a B for this draft. We think they'll improve by 2 games. They were not as active in free agency. If you look at the division that they're in, the AFC East is going to be one of the league's toughest, with the Dolphins, Bills at the top, and then you have a resurgent Jets team with Aaron Rodgers coming back. So we think they're not going to improve as much as the Bears Commanders, but they're going to be a lot better this season and definitely more fun to watch. Curious to see what the Cardinals get out of a full season of Kyler Murray. We think he's still yet to prove he's a long-term answer, but the draft of Marvin Harrison Jr. should help quite a bit. We think the Cardinals get a B for this draft, and we think because of the addition of Harrison and also having Kyler Murray, hopefully, for a full season, we think they'll get that much better. Free agency, Cardinals were a little bit quiet. I think the best pick they had there signing was linebacker Mack Wilson, but we like the Cardinals improving. A lot of rumors about the Chargers trading franchise quarterback Justin Herbert, but you don't make that mistake, and the Chargers didn't. Instead, they added in the draft Joe Alt at left tackle, who should stabilize that line for a good long time and help protect their franchise quarterback. We like the other moves that the Chargers made in the draft. We give them a B overall. We think they're set to improve by 3 games. A lot of that for the fact that Justin Herbert will be playing for the entire season, hopefully. We think Harbaugh is going to build this team slowly. We don't know if the Chargers are quite ready to dethrone the Chiefs. They're probably not. Within another season or 2, look out. We think he's going to have them going in the right direction. A lot of rumors that the Giants might take a new quarterback in the draft. Instead, I think they decided to give Daniel Jones another shot and give him more offensive weapons, selecting wide receiver Malik Neighbors. We think that was the right move there. We like the Giants draft overall. We give them a B. We think that the Giants should improve by 3 games, even with Jones missing part of the season, recovering from injury. We like the defensive moves. Brian Burns was a great pickup to go along and stabilize what was already a pretty good defense. I think the Giants season is going to be interesting, especially with Jones only playing half the season. We still think they should improve. The Titans should be an interesting team to watch this year with Will Levis throwing the ball around. It throws a good deep ball. And then so what do the Titans do? They go out and enhance their offensive line, taking offensive tackle J.C. Latham, and then in free agency, picking up speedy Calvin Ridley to go along with DeAndre Hopkins. So now Levis has 2 well-established solid weapons to start that offense. And now without Derrick Henry, you have to think the Titans are definitely going to be a passing team. A lot of people are picking on the Falcons for taking Michael Penix in the first round when they already had Kirk Cousins. But if you've been following the Falcons like we have, we lived in Atlanta for 15 years, their recent quarterback play has been so bad with Desmond Ridder and players like that, Marcus Mariota. So we think that's why they did it. We still have to give them a C- for the draft because we think they probably should have taken a defensive player to give Kirk Cousins more of an immediate chance to win. So their best free agent pickup obviously is going to be quarterback Kirk Cousins. And then we'll wait and see when Penix can play and how effective he might be. We like the Falcons to improve by 2 wins and think they're serious contenders for the NFC South. Was really the division is up for grabs. We found this story humorous that a Charlotte restaurant got in trouble putting a sign up outside that says, please let the coach and GM make the pick this year, referencing the owner's veto of the coach and GM last season to take Bryce Young. We do think they had a better draft this season. We'll give them a B for that, taking Xavier Legette. Hopefully I said it right. And then we like the free agent pickup of Deontay Johnson. We think that was actually a trade. We think the Panthers should improve by 3 games, and really that's based on where they ended up last year. Hopefully Bryce Young will play a little bit better. We saw him play at Alabama quite a bit. He's better than what he's shown so far. We're looking forward to the Jets season this year. They were led by defense last season, actually managing to go 7-10 with very limited quarterback play. Now they get Aaron Rodgers back, and we think they're going to improve by 3 games. We give their overall draft a B, top pick being left tackle Fashanu, which should help protect Aaron Rodgers. We like the free agent pickup again, another offensive tackle, Tyron Smith. We see the point there, protect Rodgers at all costs. We think Robert Saleh does not get enough credit. We read that his job might be in jeopardy, but really considering you go 7-10 last season with almost no quarterback play, we like the upside for the Jets this season. We see them as an AFC East contender. The Vikings suddenly find themselves in one of the best divisions in the NFL without a quarterback, losing Kirk Cousins to the Falcons, so they look to get the quarterback of their future, and they did just that, taking J.J. McCarthy at number 10. We like their draft, and we give them an A for that. We think they'll only improve by 1 game due to the fact that they are in one of the best divisions of football. The Bears are now better. Packers are better. We like the free agent pickup of Aaron Jones. That should help, provided he stays healthy. He's definitely an injury risk. I think the Vikings are poised for long-term success. Won't come quite as quickly as you got to work J.J. McCarthy in slowly. We think in the next 2, say 4 years, they're going to be great. The Broncos have finally moved on from the Russell Wilson experiment. Didn't quite work out. We're not sure that was the right fit. We don't think Sean Payton, he got along, so they're going to go to the quarterback of the future with Bo Nix. We see Bo Nix as a possible upside of Drew Brees. We don't think he's that talented yet, but with Sean Payton's mentoring, possibly has that potential. We like their free agent pickup of Josh Reynolds. Got a wide receiver there, but we do think the Broncos have the unfortunate bad luck of being in one of the best divisions in football, like you've heard us say about other teams, Chiefs, Chargers, and Raiders. We think they're destined for a stellar finish in the AFC West. We see the Vegas Raiders as playoff contenders, beefing up their defensive front, giving Max Crosby some health. We like the pick of Brock Bowers. I think that's going to give quarterback Gardner Minshew some targets to go along with Devontae Adams. Nice pairing there. Then you look at the free agent pickup we just mentioned, and they got defensive tackle Christian Wilkins, who was a beast at Miami. We think the Raiders are definitely underrated. They had some really big wins last season, putting 63 on the Chargers, who are missing Herbert, but also beating Kansas City the following week. So look for the Raiders to challenge for a wild card this season. The Saints just missed out on the playoffs in 2023, and we think they've made enough improvements to maybe get over the hump, take the NFC South, even though the Falcons and Bucs appear to be the favorite. We like their pick of cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry to help stabilize that secondary. We give them an overall B for their draft, and we think they're going to improve by 2 games, which should put them right there in the playoff hunt. We love the free agent signing of Chase Young, kind of stabilize that aging defensive front, give them a little bit of help there. So we like the Saints improving significantly in 2024. The Colts should start off the season with the equivalent of a top 5 pick joining the team as Anthony Richardson returns from a season-ending injury he suffered in 2023. Richardson only played in 4 full games but showed promise, including defeating C.J. Stroud and the Texans in Week 2. We like the draft. We give the Colts a B, and we like their pick of Adonai Mitchell, the wide receiver. We like the free agent addition of Raekwon Davis. We think that, though, the key factor is getting Anthony Richardson back, and we think that's worth 2 wins to improve over the Colts season last year. I think they just missed out on the AFC South Division, losing to the Texans in Week 18. The Seahawks should once again be playoff contenders, obviously having enough offensive firepower to contend. We like their moves in the draft, adding Byron Murphy II. We think that was a great move, keeping him away from the Rams, who we feel wanted him as a replacement for Aaron Donald, closer replacement. We give them a B+ for the draft. We think the free agent signings in the draft should improve their win total by 1. Tough division, though. They've got the 49ers, the Rams, and the resurgent Cardinals, who should be better than they were last year. Before last season, we were convinced the Jaguars were the team to beat in the AFC South, and we feel like they really let a golden opportunity slip away as the Texans ended up taking that division. We do think they're going to improve, adding Brian Thomas Jr. as a receiver in the draft. We give them a B for the draft. We do think they're going to improve by 1 victory. Again, you've heard me say this the entire video. Tough division. We like the free agent acquisition of Eric Armstead. They've made a couple other moves in the secondary. We think they should help them, especially in a pass-oriented division they're in, but we think they're going to struggle goal to get ahead of the Colts and the Texans in the AFC South. After two straight AFC Championship games and then one Super Bowl in which they lost to the Rams, the Bengals took a step backwards last year, largely due to Joe Burrow, who was never really healthy all season with that calf and then later on with more significant injuries. We do think the Bengals bounce back this season. We like their draft pick, offensive tackle Marius Mims. Obviously, need someone in there to protect Joe Burrow. We love the fact, again, the signing of Trent Brown. We think that's all designed, just like we saw earlier with the Chargers. Keep Joe Burrow playing, and we think with Joe Burrow back, they're probably good for at least 2 wins. We might go a little higher than that with 4, assuming he plays all season. Stafford, Kupp, and Nakua had an explosive offensive attack last year for the Rams. So this year, the Rams turned their attention to the defense. Unfortunately for them, Aaron Donald did retire, so they did what they could to replace him or try to, getting edge rusher Jared Verse. We give them a B overall for the draft. We do think the loss of Aaron Donald is going to be significant, and we like the addition of Trey White, but we think Aaron Donald being all pro, all everything, and the Rams having a lot of luck last year. Not to take away what they did, we think they're going to come down one game due to the fact, again, they're in a very difficult division. When we're searching this video, we were trying to figure out how the Steelers made the playoffs last year. Then we looked at it. They actually made the playoffs 10-7 with a negative point differential, meaning they allowed 20 more points than they scored. We think this year we give them an A for the draft as they focus on the offensive line. They're going to get better in the trenches. We think they're going to be two games better. At the quarterback position, you replace Kenny Pickett with Russell Wilson. Then you've got Justin Fields to come in, maybe run some wildcat, do some different things. We love the way the Steelers look this year. We think they're going to be a true threat in the AFC North. Miami Dolphin offense featured the Tua to Tyreek connections, exciting and impressive to watch. So they needed help on the defensive side after losing Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips to injuries. They still may not be ready to start the 2024 season. So the Dolphins drafted edge rusher Chop Robinson. We like their draft. We give them a B overall. We look at the overall team. We think they're going to go down a game because if you look at last season, they went 11-6, had a little bit of luck along the way, and then they sort of fizzled towards the end. We think the Dolphins are a team that beat up on the bad opponents but can't hang with the top teams in the league. Another offseason, another great effort by the Philadelphia Eagles, who seem to do it year in, year out. We see this team improving quite a bit after that disappointing finish. We love their pick of cornerback Cooper DeJean. We think in this draft they got 2 starting cornerbacks, and that was their Achilles heel last season. So we give them an A+ for this offseason. We think they're going to get 2 games better, maybe 3. We like the free agent acquisition of Barkley. And if you look at last season, Jalen Hurts was really not 100% for most of that, I'd say, final quarter of the season. So the Eagles is going to be much improved. Look out. Cleveland Browns did not have a first-round draft pick thanks to the picks that they traded to the Texans. We appreciate that, by the way. So we're looking at how the Browns should improve. Deshaun should be back for the full season. We're not sure if that's an improvement or not. Joe Flacco had a really good year for them last year. We do like the pick of Brian Thomas Jr. We think overall, though, the Browns get a C. We think their net improvement is going to be -1. We think even with adding players like Jerry Jeudy, Deshaun coming back, I think this might be his final year in Cleveland. He's going to have to prove he was worthy of that big contract. We don't think he does this year. As Texans fans, we're conditioned not to like the Cowboys at all. But going into last season, we felt like they were due, and it looked like they were all season until they lost in that divisional round game against the Packers. We like their draft. We give them a B+. We like the pick of tackle Tyler Guyton. We think he'll protect Dak a little bit. We think losing Dan Quinn as your defensive coordinator. We like the addition of Kendricks, but really the Cowboys did not do much in free agency and lost a lot of good defensive role players. So we think after a 12-5 season, they're due to come down a bit. We think they're going to go down 2 games. And speaking of that Cowboys-Packers playoff game, that was the game that told everybody how good Jordan Love was. Looking at this draft, we give the Packers a B+. We like the pick of tackle Jordan Morgan to kind of help protect Jordan Love. We think the Packers get 1 game better. Could be better than that, but again, it's a tough division with the Bears improving and the Lions being pretty darn good. We like the free agent signing of Josh Jacobs. We were really impressed with Aaron Jones last year when he played, but he was injured too often, and we think Jacobs will help stabilize that position. Baker and the Bucs had a surprising season last year, making the playoffs, losing in a great game against Detroit. Adding to the offensive line, they got Graham Barton. We think that Bucs have a B+ overall for the draft. We think with the draft and the free agent moves, including adding Randy Gregory as an edge defender, we think the Bucs get 1 game better, and they're right there in a very competitive NFC South with the Falcons and the Saints. C.J. Stroud certainly didn't play like a rookie last season, leading the Texans into the playoffs, along with receivers such as Tank Dell and Nico Collins. In the draft, the Texans didn't have a first-round pick. They used it to get Will Anderson Jr. last season, but they picked up Cade Stover to give Stroud an additional weapon. We give them a B for the draft, but then we think due to the fact that they made good trades and free agent moves, we like their win total to increase by 3. Key additions including Stephon Diggs from the Bills, adding running back Joe Mixon, and the defensive end Hunter from the Minnesota Vikings. We think the Texans should advance in the playoffs this season. Buffalo Bills had an interesting offseason, unfortunately, mostly to the negative, losing key receiver Stephon Diggs, who never seemed satisfied in the Buffalo offense. Looking at their draft, we give them a B. We think Cole Bishop could be a sleeper. We thought that they should have taken Xavier Worthy, and the idea of letting the Chiefs trade up to get him, they're one of your primary opponents in the AFC, that didn't seem too smart to us. We think the free agent moves, again, they didn't do too much, but they did add receiver Curtis Samuel to help somewhat offset the loss of Stephon Diggs. But ultimately, we see the Bills dropping, regressing by 2 games due to the fact that the division is better with the Jets getting Aaron Rodgers back and just them losing Stephon Diggs. We love to see the Lions' resurgence with Jared Goff at quarterback and then aggressive head coach Dan Campbell. But the one weakness they had last season that bit them a little bit in the championship game against the 49ers was at cornerback. And so they addressed that, taking who we think is the best cornerback in the draft, Terrion Arnold, and then bolstering the remainder of the defense via free agency, getting cornerback Carlton Davis. So we think the Lions get a B overall for the draft. That might be a B plus. And we think they had a good record last season. The division got a little better. We still think the Lions improved by a game and retain their NFC North crown. The Ravens really missed a golden opportunity last season, having a division that was a little easier with the Bengals missing Joe Burrow. We like their draft. We give them a B. Taking cornerback Nate Wiggins should help improve that secondary. We really like the free agent moves, adding Derrick Henry to go along with Lamar Jackson is going to have an even stronger rushing attack than they did in 2023. But we do think they're going to backtrack a little just due to the fact the division's gotten better. The Steelers, Bengals get Burrow back, and the Browns with Deshaun coming back. Another painful missed opportunity would be the 49ers last year, who we believe lost the Super Bowl on this play early in the game. Adding Ricky Pearsall should help their offense. We give them a B plus overall for the draft. We do look at their overall season forecast. Think they're going to backtrack a game. The NFC West is going to be a little tougher. We think the Lions are now the best team in the NFC. Looking at the free agent moves, adding Leonard Floyd should help, give you a more consistent pass rush. We think the 49ers should win the division, but again, they're probably the second or third best team in the NFC now. The Chiefs did it again this offseason, following up back-to-back Super Bowl championships with a really good draft, addressing pretty much their only weakness by taking Xavier Worthy, the fastest receiver in the draft. So to that point, we give them an A+, and the rich get richer, right? And we think the Chiefs are going to improve by 2 games. They didn't even have one of their best regular seasons last season with a 3rd seed, and now we think they're going to be a clear 1. Also adding Marquise Brown to again solidify that wide receiver position, going with Kelsey Mahomes and Andy Reid's magic. Question to you viewers, do you see any team capable of dethroning the Chiefs? If so, let us know who. I think it's going to be tough.
That's all for this time. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to sharing our future videos with you.